Hi, I'm here in a market town in Northamptonshire, in Thrapston. There's a demonstration going on here. Right behind me is a building where they transport animals for experimentation. We're going to go and have a little chat with some of the demonstrators behind me, so come join me.
1, 2, 3, 4! Open up the cage door! 5, 6, 7, 8! Smash the locks and liberate!
Why are you here today? And what this is all about.
Okay, the reason I'm here today is that if you look behind us on this little industrial estate here, it's an anonymous looking building. It's a company called Impex. Impex are an independent courier who transport animals around the country to laboratories basically. So beagles, monkeys, rabbits and other animals are transported by this company to be used in painful, unnecessary experiments. And a company like Impex, they work on an operation that they want to keep quiet. This is a business that involves immense suffering for animals. When they pick these animals up from companies like MBR Acres and others and transport them to laboratories around the country, like LabCorp in Harrogate, or they can go even further afield. They transport animals to airfields flying out the country, and they also collect animals from airports that are imported into the UK to be used in laboratory experiments. And these animals suffer tremendously. So that's why we're here. We're here to highlight the fact that Impex are involved in a trade that involves thousands of animals that are shipped around laboratories, contract testing facilities and others, government-funded laboratories around the UK to suffer and die in experiments that are morally and ethically bankrupt and scientifically extremely questionable. And that's why we're here, to highlight that, to let people know that this anonymous-looking building behind you, which, let's face it, most people who live here don't even know what goes on there, and to show that they're involved in a business that they make money out of transporting animals to suffer in laboratories around the UK and beyond.
You know, what's really interesting is that I live here, and just exactly what you said, it's an anonymous building, so I drive here to get my MOT done. It's a very pretty, picturesque area, and we live here and we don't even know that this place exists.
You make a good point, and it's a really interesting point, that when you look at the business that surrounds animal research, you know, this is the way these companies operate. They know it's controversial, they know people don't like it, and therefore they come to places like this and they hide quietly away amongst other businesses who are garages, like you say, and other things, and quietly operate, but not anymore. That's not going to happen anymore. We will not let that happen anymore. And we do know a lot about this company. We know all the laboratories that they supply, and we know about the flights that the airports they tend to collect animals from, and we know a lot of detail. So therefore their business of shipping animals around the UK to die in laboratories is now going to be exposed for what it is. You know, they are couriers of death. Let's make no mistake about that. When they leave here and every day, and people, like you say yourself, they'll come out here in plain white vans and quietly slip off.
Yeah, we host children's parties here next door. So a child is having their birthday party here next door, and then you've got all of that going on in a building that the only thing that I thought was strange about it are there are lots of cameras. Yes. So I did wonder, I thought, why on earth have we got so many cameras? And of course now it makes sense. And when I saw you all here this morning, I just couldn't believe it's on the doorstep. So do you think you're making any roads into this?
Yeah, I think we are. And I think, you know, the general public are disturbed when they learn that these companies like Impex exist and that they're involved in this trade. And most people in this country, or a large number of people, millions of people in this country, have dogs. They have a dog at home that they sit and pet and love. And yet, and Impex ship dogs, Beagle Dogs, to laboratories. These dogs are no different from the dog you have at home on your settee, but they are destined to die in a laboratory. They are bred at places like MBR Acres near Huntingdon, and this company collects them from there and will ship them right to the four corners of this country and beyond to die in experiments. And what's the difference between those dogs and the dog at home? There is none, except these dogs, the dogs that Impex send to laboratories, are deemed as scientific tools. Well, we find that unacceptable, and it's unacceptable morally, it's also unacceptable scientifically. You know, this is the 21st century. I think most people now are asking pertinent questions about how relevant is this research on dogs. Scientists are saying increasingly it's not relevant, and you know, I think protests like this, exposing companies like Impex, is vital if we're going to change the way society treats animals.
Can I ask you, on a personal note, how hardened do you have to be in order to do this? Because let's face it can't be easy.
I've been doing this for over 40 years now, and you do have to become tough-skinned. You really do. But even though I've been involved in it for so long, I'm still as determined as ever to play my part in stopping this trade and this suffering in animals. So, yeah, you do have to get hardened, but also, once you know what happens to these animals, once you're aware about companies like Impex, then I feel absolutely duty-bound to do something about it. So I won't stop. I won't stop until we see change. And I think today's demonstration is a fantastic example of what we can achieve. And I think everyone in Thrapston will no longer drive past here, walk past here, and not know when those vans leave here exactly what they're going to collect and where they're going to end up.
Well, what you're doing is you've pulled the veil back now, haven't you? For a lot of people now. I really admire you sticking with this and really pushing it through, because there's no monetary gain for you, there's no celebrity, because let's face it, we're a celebrity based world now, so I really appreciate it.
There's one other thing I was saying, it's particularly pertinent at the moment when you see a protest like this. At the moment, the UK government are trying to stifle protest. They're trying to push through draconian measures against protest. And nothing in this world, in our society, to change the better without protest, without things like this. Animals would not have a voice if it wasn't for these kinds of protests. So hopefully people will look at this and not only look at why we're here, but also why protest is so important. Animals have no voice apart from people like this doing this. And this has to continue until we get change. And we are going to do that. We are going to get change, make no mistake about it.
9, 10, 11, 12, Impex, go to hell!
Right, so I'm here with Amanda, who you're chained, aren't you here, Amanda?
I'm locked onto a device
Locked
here.
on, yes.
Yeah.
How long have you been here?
We've been here since 5 o'clock this morning.
5 o'clock this morning. So can I ask you what you're hoping to achieve today and what is exactly behind you, this building?
So, this is Impex.
Impex.
And Impex is a company that specialises in transporting animals that are used in laboratories. They also are involved in transporting animal parts for use in laboratories. They're based here in Thrapston in Northamptonshire. And they transport animals, including non-human primates, to places like LabCorp in Harrogate, where they'll be experimented on. They are involved in taking dogs to or animals to and from the airports. So the reason that I'm here is that I'm absolutely appalled that a company is prepared to make their money from doing this, and they're clearly making a lot of money. They've been doing this for 20 odd years. They've been exposed before. They're very hidden. There's nothing here to tell people what they do here, nothing at all. Despite all the exposure in the footage of those dogs leaving in vans from here, from MBR Acres near Huntingdon, people haven't known that this is where they're based. And so, I very much want people to know that this is where this company is based. People are very, very angry about their involvement in this industry. It's a very sordid, grubby industry.
What you've just said is interesting. This building, you wouldn't even look at it. You wouldn't give it a second look, would you?
No.
Which is obviously deliberate here.
We believe that the managing director of this company arrived and then turned around and went away.
Right.
And another worker, we believe, was approaching and turned around and went away. So we haven't had any sort of dialogue with them. I think they're probably quite shocked to see so many people here today. And I'd like to say a massive thank you to all the people who have travelled here today. I think we had over 40 people here from about 5 o'clock this morning. It's absolutely amazing that, on a really, really cold morning in January, and it was freezing cold, people are prepared to actually travel down here because they're just so appalled, so angry and want to do something about it.
So can I ask you, how long do you think you'll stay here for?
What, today?
Today, yeah.
Today we'll stay as long as we can.
Yeah.
We're aware that this company will go out in vans in the afternoon, so we don't want them to think that we're going to go away now because they haven't been in, and then they could easily go out this afternoon. We're here to tell them that we're disgusted with what they're doing and we want them to stop doing it. Yeah, this is a lock-on device that's been created, basically so that it enables us to stay here. We're locked onto it. It's full of concrete. So basically, we're in front of the gates here.
Impacts are animal abusing scum! Impacts are animal abusing scum! Scumbags! Scumbags have sent 16-week-old puppies to the laboratories to be tortured and to be murdered and to be carved into pieces. Impacts are scum! Animal abusing scum! They've got blood on their hands! Blood! Blood! Blood on their hands! Blood! Blood! Blood on their hands!
Can I ask you, Auntie, why are you here today?
To expose a link in the chain of the vivisection industry. The transportation of the animals from A to B is facilitated by this particular man, company, employees and vans. You can't walk away.
Right.
Once you're aware of it, no compassionate person could walk away. At any point in history, nobody's walked away, hopefully, from cruelty and abuse of any kind.
Animals don't have a voice. If humans don't stand up for them, nobody's going to know that these buildings exist. Nobody's going to know about this experimentation. So we absolutely need people like you to be their voice, to draw attention. So hopefully today in Thrapston, by you all being here and representing the animals, you draw attention to those of us who've just walked past this building. Now we know why it's so innocuous.
Anybody who has anything to hide needs to worry about it.
Yeah.
It all comes back round again. After you've done something evil in your life, those footprints come back to follow you, don't they?
Yeah. I'm here with Sol, who's on the roof there, who's been very vocal today. I have to say, you've got some energy, both of you. You really have. Can I ask what you're hoping to achieve today?
To shut down Impex. So these vile, disgusting, this industry, they send 16-week-old puppies to be taken to laboratories, to be tortured and to be murdered in toxicity experiments, and we're here to stop them.
What do you think about the people, their mentality of the people who are involved in the vivisection, the transportation, all of this cruelty with animals?
They're just complicit in the murder of innocent animals. To be honest, I just can't understand their mentality at all.
It takes a mindset, doesn't it, that we can't really understand.
I can't understand anyone who want to work in that industry for all the money in the world. I can't understand it.
What's really terrific about these people, they are dedicating themselves to this wonderful cause, because nobody wants to talk about the transportation of the animals, and this is the link in the chain, as they've said. This is an innocuous building, you wouldn't know it was here. We need protests, we need to be allowed to protest. The laws are coming in to try and stop this, and this is really our fundamental right, and we need to protect this. So I think it's brilliant that these people are here. I hope that they are supported by the local community, and it sounds like they already are. So I hope you've enjoyed this little report from Thrapston. It draws attention to what's going on here in this innocuous building behind me, and I wish the protesters nothing but absolute luck. And thanks for watching.
Blood! Blood!